Yeah, we're extremely excited to again get to compete this year in the Trinity League. Again, first year of program, so we're excited in building that culture. That's a really big thing for us. Is again having a wonderful culture that promotes again great education, really faith development, again character development, and most importantly competitive excellence in there. So. We're excited for that. Had a really quick year this year. Got in a little bit late, but had the opportunity to hire a staff. Got a great new staff with a couple coaches that I got to work with before. Tim Holt was with me at the Raiders. Jeff Love, I was with at KU. Luke Del Rio, who I actually got a coach, and he was just at University of Alabama. And then Sean Embry, I got to meet up with. Sean, I was around at Colorado when he was with the Broncos and with CU. So excited about that. Really excited about our players. These are guys who really invested a lot. Obviously, through transition is always tough with high school students. So it's been outstanding. Again, I'll start over on the right. Derek Wilkins. Derek had a good first year in the Trinity League, playing as a sophomore, played primarily defensive tackle. Colleges are starting to really buzz about him. Derek's going to be a great college player in there. I think we just got an offer from San Jose State the other day, so we're excited about that. What's the GPA now, bud? 3.9. 3.9. So again, he's basically my same GPA. It just took me 2 semesters to get that. Then Keanu Kama or Pono, again, going to be a great defensive back for us, junior. Again, really had significant reps as a sophomore last year in a young secondary. Did a great job with that. Look forward to a lot with him. Again, 3.7 GPA, right? Yes, so does a great job for that. Greg Doyle, senior, really did a great job, especially in the offseason developing. Really proud of him and what he sort of has accomplished in there. Going to be a really good college player. Again, good rush player, and then we're going to use him a little bit at tight end. So we're excited about that. And then Nick Parcells. Nick is the smartest guy in the room. I'm going to tell you what, guys, because Nick is a premium long snapper. So I'm telling you what, you can play a long time in the NFL if you do that. I was with a guy named John Kondo, who was my same age. It's always fun coaching a guy your same age. John was 15 years, I think, in the league, so pretty smart in there. But besides that, Nick is a heck of a linebacker and a really good running back for us, really lead inside. So that's the Margarita Eagles.
Wonderful, thank you. We'll go ahead and open up the floor for questions.
Brent, last time around, coaching in this league with this group of teams, because you were there after the Empire League moved to Trinity, or Sarah League, Trinity?
Yes. Yep.
How's the league look different? How's it feel different now than it was? How many years ago was that?
That would have been 05, 06 in there. Yep. You know what? I think there's a few different things. Obviously, at the time, I think the 2 small schools were J. Sarah and Orange, and obviously those have both grown quite a bit. I think J. Sarah was just starting, so that was sort of a tough one in there, sort of getting them going. And I know Coach Hardigan did a great job getting that going after I left. I think obviously we didn't quite know what the league was going to become at that moment, but we were trying to find someone with stability. I don't know if you remember that releaguing process was a doozy. So it really pretty cool. We're on year 13 of the league, which is awesome. I think that's been good because I think at the time we were driving all over. We have kids that are very similar academic focus, so that's good. And it's really been exciting, especially being away from the league, just being able to hear about it a little bit. It's pretty cool when you're, at just my last stop when I was at Kansas talking about, man, let's get a couple kids from the Trinity League. It's a big deal. So I think that part has changed a lot, Steve, as far as that. But I think it's a lot of same rivalries. I know a couple new ones in there, but it's been pretty cool seeing that.
For Derek, lineman, is there there's so many good linemen in this gosh darn league, up in every darn week, in this league.
I know a big one for me last year when I was working inside was Ty Marks. I know he got the best of me more than a few times. So I've been training a lot this off season. I'm hoping to get back at him. He's probably the main one with me.
Brett, thank you for breaking down what all these guys bring to the table. Who are some guys who aren't here today who are going to contribute for you this year? Can you just describe their games and what they'll do?
Sure.
Thank you.
I think, again, a couple of the guys who aren't here that have done a good job in the offseason. Jason Shilling, again, what is he, the second Shilling in the program, right? Second, so it's pretty cool. We got him coming back as a senior. He'll be good for us inside. Really been a leader. Really done a great job in the classroom. I think he had a 34 ACT this year, so pretty special kid that way. Yeah, I had that score too. It just took me 3 times. I think we have a little bit of guys competing at quarterback. Colt Fulton, Josh Contreras, Jordan Holmes have done all good jobs in there. So I think they'll add a little bit to us in that regard. Then we have some young guys I think stepping up. Drew Sulik, a linebacker, will be a good player for us. Along with we have a couple good safeties, seniors that are sort of coming up with Messier and Kova. So I think those will all be good pieces in there. And then you have some good senior leadership with Obi and really the sort of the stalwart of the secondary would be Mark Hart in there. So all good players.
Is Sulik any relation to Andy?
Possibly.
Coach, what was the first thing you kind of wanted to do when you got with your group as far as setting the culture? We hear so much about culture and family, and so what were those first things of your foundation you wanted to lay down for this program now?
Well, I think for me, actually, I was telling them that I had a very similar experience for the seniors, at least, that when I came at Orange Lutheran my senior year, I had a brand new head coach named Jim Kunow, and that was sort of weird. I didn't know quite how to take that on, and it was probably one of the best things that happened with me in there. But I think the big thing is just the tradition that's been at SM. If you look at some of the great players that have come out of it, how well they've developed their players, the high academic schools that they've ended up at, really it's pretty special. I remember playing Santa Margarita, being how physical of a game that always was. I think we had in 06 when I was at Orange Lutheran, that was sort of a knockdown drag out. They jumped all over us early and sort of went the whole way. And I think we had played them for the last 4 or 5 years previous before that. So just talking about that tradition and really sort of focusing back in on that and how incredible of a school it is. I mean, for those who haven't been on campus, you just don't find a better place. Being recruiting all over the country, I tell you what, I've got to see a lot of high schools when I was in college, and there's no place like Margarita. Really is not. There's some wonderful places in Texas and such, but I mean, when you walk by that pool, I mean, I don't know how it's hard to leave, I tell you what. So it's a neat place.
Hi, Zach Kavanaugh, Couch Round Dispatch. With the way that the CIF playoff format works out now, what's kind of the realistic expectations that you have for this group in terms of win-loss or where you could go possibly at the end of the year?
Yeah, well, I think with the playoffs, it's made it a little bit, obviously different where, before you're really fighting just to get in. If you weren't the top 3 teams in the Trinity, right? I mean, it really is, it came down to one game. And now, obviously, that's opened up a little bit with the format. I think the big thing, just with all of it, is trying to hit the ground where you're playing your best ball at the end of the year. Some guys will peak out a little bit. Obviously, with this league, injuries are hard. But I think for us, obviously, just being a little bit behind as far as a new staff, new program, and that is really trying to hit hit the ground running, try to keep building momentum, and then really start playing really well late. Because, you know, really how they seed it out, you could get hot and really make a realistic run, so.
Thank you. Eric Sondheimer from the LA Times. I was wondering if any of the players have any thoughts about the fact that participation in football has reached its lowest level in 20 years. You guys are playing. You probably talk to others on campus who don't want to play. I was wondering what's causing that, if you have any thoughts, and what can help improve that? Because it's affecting everybody's depth, maybe not so much in the Trinity League, but it's in other teams. So anybody that wants to pursue that, if you want to step up and answer that, or maybe you don't have any answers. Thank you.
You want it? All right.
I feel with that question, a lot of kids these days they haven't played football all their lives. They usually start during high school. For instance, me, I've played since I was around 4, so it's been part of my life for my whole life. And also other sports, kids play multiple, and eventually they have to choose one or the other, and usually they choose the other because it's usually easier than football.
I also think a lot of kids nowadays, they're trying to take like the easy way out, but football, in many cases, you can learn so many good life lessons. It's a lot more than like at SM we talk about, it's a lot more than football. It's about learning life lessons, it's about being a man and being uncommon. And so I think nowadays in society, a lot of kids kind of try to take the easy way out and do the easy thing, but football is a great sport for not only brotherhood, but also learning life lessons, so.
You don't want all right. You know what? I didn't get a comment on that. I'll give you some on there. I think another thing too is just, you know, I think what is youth sports? What they say, it's over a $5 billion industry now. I think that has changed the landscape a little bit, where they're telling kids you have to specialize, you have to do this, you have to do that, and that'll knock numbers down, right? I mean, because you can play pretty much any sport year round, which has changed it, which I think is a little bit sad too. Personally here, I think you have all multi-sport athletes you're looking at right here, between volleyball, track, baseball, which I think is something that's incredible. Just from being, you know, I've been blessed to be able to coach at a couple different levels, and in those levels, I'll tell you, in the NFL, I didn't have one guy who wasn't a multi-sport athlete. They weren't a specialized player in any art, because, you know, great athletes will get there, and those other sports really develop the kids in there. So I think some of that actually can have a little bit of a negative impact on the football numbers. I think the other part is, obviously there's you know, we're worried about head injuries and such, and I think if you look, the NFL's done a good job really taking a look at those numbers and addressing that, you know, because that was a problem. But if you look at it, concussions have gone down so much in that league, it's incredible. So I think just educating it will help, because, you know, obviously, you know, I have 2 kids, and I want the best in their health, but at the same part too, you know, there's a lot of other sports that are just as dangerous, if not more, you know, when you're playing competitively.
Hey, Keanu, playing both sides of the football, is there a chance for the defense to feed off the offense, and of course the offense to feed off the defense? Is that maybe a strategy kind of going is to kind of build on both sides and be able to kind of feed off the energy of each side? So that you can speak to that, having, you know, being playing on both sides there.
Yeah, last year I only played defense, so this year is kind of different. And so, yeah, the offense feeds off the defense's energy and everything, and it makes us want to work harder on either side of the ball, so, yeah.
Does that make you personally better one way?
Yeah.
Are you thinking from the other side of the line now as well?
Yeah, yes, sir. So, yeah, that's...